that is creating something that seems real but is not. The engine behind Kendrick Lamar is obviously a very influential energy and engine. He rigged the game in some way. What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. It's Lone Wolf, and today we're gonna talk about the biggest performance of the year. This man Kendrick been on a crazy tier run. He got 5 Grammys, swept the Grammys. Now he did the Super Bowl, killed the Super Bowl. One of the best rap performances at a Super Bowl I've seen ever. So we're gonna dissect it. We're gonna get into it. I can't play the video on YouTube, but I'm gonna go through the video on stills and dissect it and talk about maybe what he was interpreting as a songwriter, as a performer myself, as a musician, and giving y'all my insight. Let's go. So first we're gonna start out with the intro to the Super Bowl performance. Shout out to Albert from Sauce Entertainment. He gave me this pointer and it blew my mind. I had to put it in the video. You see this big red circle? Don't that look like the big red button that Drake be talking about? Bro, when Albert told me this, it blew my mind. I was like, yo, this started from even outside of the stadium, bro. Dave Free is a genius. I never knew anything about Dave Free like that much. I knew he was Kendrick's mans, but now I know why they teamed up. This man is a genius. Like, boop, start the game. And that leads into the next point. All right, first, Kendrick started out with this PlayStation looking controller into this video game-esque type of vibe. So that's what he first starts you out with. So in my mind, you know, I'm like, okay. And then you see in the crowd, right? It says 100, and I can't really make out what that is. So I'm guessing this is like, okay, he's starting the game. That's my thought process. Second time watching it, I understood that was what it was. He was basically playing in a video game, right? Next, he gets into the intro of the song. He brings in Samuel L. Jackson. So I know everybody's like, Samuel Jackson, play off of words with Uncle Sam. Yes, he is our Unc. So he is Uncle Samuel L. Jackson. So he is basically playing himself, but also as Uncle Sam, quote unquote, the mascot of America, right? So he's welcoming us to the start of the game. We're starting the game with America. Basically, you're starting a new life. You're born into America. Welcome to the game. Let's play. That's what Samuel is basically telling us, right? Then we get into the actual performance. Kendrick is standing on the GNX car. Obviously, nothing too crazy right now. And he just has a basically like spoken word, and is basically saying, you know, the revolution is now televised, but by the wrong guy. That was one of his quotes that he said. And my interpretation of that was he's speaking to America. Now, I know everybody would think he's going to go straight at Drake in the beginning, because that's basically been the whole gist of this Kendrick thing that's been going on. Is everything he does is directed to Drake. But I think in this part, it was nothing directed to Drake. He's talking directly to America. The revolution will be televised, but y'all had it by the wrong guy. So now people are saying that was about Trump. Some people are saying that's about Trump because the revolution was televised maybe by the wrong side. That was led by the wrong guy. Because in their minds, they started a revolution, and their revolution is the Proud Boys, the MAGA, and they think they're making America great again, like this brand new lease on life, getting back to our roots. They don't even know what that is. And in that spoken word, right, you also hear him talking about a certain group of people. We don't know what group, but if we presume we're talking about maybe the people that is in the black community, maybe people that is all together for the opposing side of trying to restrict rights. Maybe he's talking about us, that God is favoring us now, you know, because we're being silenced, we're being muted, we're being oppressed, right? There's a lot of different interpretations, and that's why art in this caliber is very valuable, because different perspectives can relate to different people in different moments in their life, because you're experiencing different things. As a black person, I'm not experiencing what somebody from Palestine is feeling. I'm not experiencing what somebody in the LGBT community is feeling right now. And all of these different perspectives can be used to help give you a revolutionary spirit, right? Let's go into the next scene. So in this scene, when he's on the GNX, it seems like he released, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't really listen to GNX over and over again. I didn't really like the album that much, personally. So I never listened to it like over and over again. I think I listened to it like 2 or 3 times. But this sounds like an unreleased. So then he performed Squabble Up. Squabble Up is probably one of the best, is the top track from GNX. We all heard of it. He sampled it in the Not Like Us video, right? Self-explanatory. There's nothing too deep. If you want to go too deep, if that's what you want to do, you could pivot it and say, okay, you know, going back to the Uncle Sam, the game is starting. The first song, or the second song really, but you know, the second song that everybody's recognizing is Squabble Up. People can pivot that and say, oh, it's time to squabble up, because we're about to start playing. We're about to get into the game of America. Okay, next we go into Uncle Sam, Samuel L. Jackson's part, where he says, oh no, too loud, too ghetto. You need to quiet it down. He says something like that, right? And that's the scene right here. So in this scene, it's basically symbolism of America trying to silence rap music, okay? And it could be any form of rap, right? Because they've been doing that since rap came out, since NWA, since, you know, Onyx, you know what I'm saying, since Wu-Tang. You know, politicians have been trying to attack rap music, trying to silence rap music, saying it's too loud, too ghetto, too this and that. And if they like it, it's usually not something where it's related to a culture. It's only if it's like a destructive part of the culture, they like to label that as something to promote. You know what I'm saying? But instead of saying artistically every form of rap has some artistry to it, I don't agree with that. But a lot of people say, you know, in the industry, if you're an artist, that every form of rap is an expression, even if it's murder music, even if it's drill music, even if it's that and that. So he's basically saying, oh no, it's too loud, it's too ghetto, when, you know, rap is free of expression. Rap is the first form of protest. Rap gave black people a voice where we can talk about the struggles of the ghetto and fight the system like an anarchy. You know what I'm saying? Now, we always made protest music, but it was not popular. But when rap came around, we felt like we were able to actually voice our frustrations and opinions, right? So I think in this part is where you get that loud too ghetto with the Squabble Up, because they want to hear the soft Kendrick. They want to hear the politically correct Kendrick all the time. And he's like, well, I want to get rowdy. This is my area. This is the music from my area. This is what I like to do. And that's where you get Uncle Sam, Samuel Jackson, saying, you don't know how to play the game. That is the whole point of it. You don't know how to play the game, talking to Kendrick. He's like, you've been having this clean cut look. You can't be making this type of music. Like, silence it. You know what I'm saying? So this scene right here was really powerful to me, because if you could see, the blue on the top left is obviously where the flags is set up as. And then the lines looks like the American flag, right? No stars in it, just plain American flag. Kendrick's in the middle. Clear American protest or message. Might not even be a protest, but this is clearly a message to America. So if you notice, when Uncle Sam says, no, too loud, too ghetto, it goes into the American flag, and the next song off the buck is Humble. So I think it has a double entendre for this song choice after the Samuel L. Jackson lines. I think Kendrick is telling Uncle Sam America to be humble, be sit down. So first is be humble, humble yourself, America, because you know America has that arrogance about, like, all Americans in America, the face of America, especially right now, has that arrogance aura about us ourselves, where we think we're better than every other country. We think we could do, we could say do whatever we want if it's not somebody that's opposing their views, right? But if it's a collective understanding, and then we can do and say whatever we want. So Kendrick's like, as a revolutionary that he's trying to be, sit down, be humble. Humble yourself. You aren't like that for real. There's other places that's happier. There's other places that has better flow of balances of classes, better funding, better healthcare. Like, you're not the best. You have flaws, big ones. That's what it was. That's what I took it as, and I might be correct, but I feel like that is probably the main point that he was trying to say. On top of that, he's saying, be sit down. Like, basically, chill, bruh. You can't tell me what to do with my artistry or my music. I make whatever I please. That's like Floyd Mayweather. You don't tell me when I can fight and when I can't fight, or who I can fight. I choose what I can do, because I got that level of stature now that I can do that. You can't tell me what to do. So pipe down, America. Okay, now we get into DNA. This one was interesting. This is the second part of the whole performance, where Kendrick is changing the lyrics to fit the atmosphere, to fit the scene, right? So in DNA, at the end of the verse of the song, he switches the lyrics up and adds lyrics, and he says murders and black trauma basically being a part of our DNA. And then he says at the end, brother dies, father dies, and he's listing things basically from poverty-stricken black communities that has ridden us for years. He's listing all these negative attributes, these toxic attributes that we go through in the black African American communities, right? That has tarnished us from actually progressing. Then he says at the end, I want to, basically saying he's tired of this. He's tired of it so much it's causing him depression, and he wants to die because he's tired of this cycle. That was very powerful, because if you know, trauma travels through DNA. This ain't a game. He's not playing with y'all, bro. So I love that I love anybody that can take a performance, and instead of just performing it how it is, they can take the performance and add to the performance to enlighten a part, to extra explain what the actual meaning is, to push the meaning even further into your brain. This is marvelously done. How he created the DNA song, and it was able to input it into this performance in America, talking about how America has caused trauma through black African American communities through DNA, which is caused alcoholism, which is caused aggressive masculinity, toxic masculinity, wanting to kill each other through gun violence. All of these things that has ridden us for years and has been passed down through trauma, through DNA. Then you get into Euphoria. I think this is just, okay, we're chilling out. We're just going to perform, have fun. He's taking you through emotion, so it's not, oh, it's so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be heavy all the time, right? So I think this is just Euphoria. Obviously, this is the diss that he did to Drake. I don't see any emphasis on, poking Drake, poking the bear in this performance. I think he's just performing a really high energy song. Then we get to Man in the Garden. So this is off of GNX. Again, I listened to this song a couple times. Really good song. Slow song, poetic song. And he's basically talking about how he deserves it all because of where he came from, what he's done for the culture, how he pushed the culture forward, what he's done for his community. Like, he deserves it all. And I think it even goes any further. Correct me if I'm wrong. We deserve it all of what we've been through, right? And in this performance, let me get a better picture. All right, bam. In this performance, he has people in the back that look like they on the block. If you can't see, there's a lamp post right behind them, right? If you know anything about like hoods in America, they have lamp posts. It looks like any hood in America. So now they're underneath a lamp post where usually the thugs, the gangsters, the drug dealers hang out in hoods in America. And they're behind him as he's singing Man in the Garden. And I feel like he's talking more to them than he's talking to himself. Now, this one is a very emotional one. I've seen a lot of people get emotional about this. A lot of people try to tie it to maybe like them being angels, like people that died on the block, on the corner, and saying that Man in the Garden is symbolism to a cemetery. People are saying, you know, now it changed their perspective from this performance on how they view the song. As a performer, as a musician, I'm gonna say this. That is the most powerful thing. If you can perceive or change the perception of what somebody thought about your song, or even like your song after your performance, you're a GOAT. Because that is what artistry, that is what musicianship is when you're able to get on that stage and change your perception of the song. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing, it's a difference between hearing something live and hearing it on a headset, or hearing it even in the car. Sound travels through frequencies. Sound travels through frequencies which transfer over into waves of water in our bodies, and it causes different emotions and feelings, right? So every different sound system gives a different effect, right? So when you hear things live and you hear a natural voice, not automated into you know, a system or application, you hearing a live voice, it will hit you different than hearing a recorded voice. You can't sometimes hear subtle synths or atmospheric sounds or cinematic sounds or voices they put in. It gets muddy, right? So this performance is changing his audience and new audiences' perspectives of the album. It even had me go back and listen to it. And this goes into the next part after Man in the Garden, where Uncle Sam, America, comes out again. And Uncle Sam says something really telling about America and what they think about this scene, about black boys on the corner, living in poverty, striving to make it out of the capitalistic structure system by any means possible, whether it's stepping over your own brother to get there, killing your own brother to get there, right? This is what Uncle Sam says. Tells Kendrick, deduct one life. You brought your homeboys trying to do a cultural cheat code. Okay, deduct one life. I want y'all to think about what that means. Deduct one life. I took that two ways. One, those people on the corners are martyrs and sacrifices for an agenda to help promote rap music, toxic murder music in rap right now. That's a big pop. That's the thing. Popular rap music right now is toxicity, is the side of the ghetto that we aren't very proud of, being honestly.
What?
And a lot of these rappers nowadays use the cultural cheat code, like Kendrick says. This not even to Drake. Don't even try to pivot it to Drake. If you put a whole bunch of gangsters behind you and you rap about murder music, you know you're going to go up. You know that's going to go viral. It's popular. But if you're talking about dismantling that whole system that is killing us and destroying us, or speaking against it and opposing to it and trying to make it better, you're not playing the game right. We're not going to promote that because it's not selling. So another point, my second point, when it says deduct one life, how many rappers have died because of this persona, became sacrifices for this lifestyle. How many of them have been martyrs and sacrifices to a lifestyle that isn't ours? Remember, gangsters was never black culture. Let me say that again. I'm more Dr. Umar. Gangster culture was never African American black culture. Gangster culture was never in history black culture. It was adapted through white culture from the Sicilians and Italians. The mob mentality, organized crime, was never a black thing. But now we have gravitated it, took on that gangster mentality and role, and created a persona from it, the thug mentality and persona and culture, and now is being promoted for monetary values of people that don't look like us, so that even the labels know that that's a cheat code to blow up an artist. So they're probably setting pieces up for these black kids to get famous, and then they die, and now they're just a write-off. Sad but true. I made a song, protest song, about this called Fresh Lil J's by Lone Wolf, talking about we dying for a culture that's not ours. We created a subculture from it, and it's beautiful. At what cost did it get us to? All right, the next song was Peekaboo. Now, this wasn't any like deep political approach, right? But it was very good artistically, and it was just surface level artistry that needs to just be appreciated as a performer. Me as a musician and a performer and all of these things, I do music, right? When I saw this, my brain had a massage. I was like, this dude is a genius. And it's just subtle things that can bring your performance to life. So in this scene right here, the dancers are kind of bucking, right? And you don't see Kendrick at all. Like, he's nowhere in frame. Mind you, the song's called Peekaboo. Now watch this. Boom. This frame, Kendrick says, Peekaboo, and pops into the front. Bro. Genius. It was like watching a music video live. It gave me chills, bro. Like, it was so inspiring to see that. It's just like little stuff like that just inspire. You know how many people he's inspiring off of this performance? Like musicians, just not even talking about just people, just musicians. There's so many just innuendos and like just subtle things he's doing throughout his performance that's creating a narrative, and it's just so powerful. Like, this needs to win something. Like, this performance needs to win something, bro. The stuff he was doing in here, I'd never seen a rap performance like. And I've been to his concerts. I seen Mr. Morale. Obviously, it was the best concert, one of the best rap concerts. No, the best rap concert I ever been to, besides Wiz Khalifa's. Even though I'm not a big Kendrick fan, his performances are so well thought out. It's like a theatrical live play, how he does things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so intricate. It sucks you in. Even if you're not an artistic person, you're going to get sucked in. Next, we got the Not Like Us teaser. So this was one of the first parts that I was like, this feels like a play. Like West Side Story type vibes, right? If y'all seen West Side Story, it's like a dance, theatrical, fighting scene. So it felt like this. Like, so the beef, he added like a theatrical ambiance to it, like West Side Story, right? This was really cool because he was like talking to the ladies behind him, and they was like, "What, K Dot?" He's like, "I want to play their favorite song." Which one is it? It was so cool, bro. I just like how he was doing these play on the beef. He's like, "I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, but they gonna sue if I do it. Nah, I'm gonna switch it up." And then he goes into the scissor performance, and it has you thinking, "Oh, dang, he didn't do it." So then we get into the scissor performance. It sounded like a vocal track, and she was lip singing over the vocal track. Same thing with Kendrick. I think in the beginning part when Kendrick came out and started singing, I think they. So this is good for y'all to know as well. Performers, some performers need breathing points. Like if it's a lot of movement, if it's a lot of, they need breather points. Like if you go to a CB concert, there's gonna be some songs probably where he's lip singing a song so he can take a breath from dancing for dancing for like 30 minutes straight, right? Performers are going to have break songs where they're going to rest, get their breath, because they're human. They're not robots, right? So I think this was slowing down because he did Luther, 7 days like it's hot. Then he went into Stars. SZA was singing. It sounds like the vocal track. She was lip singing the whole time, and then Kendrick came back with Stars. He started doing his real voice, I think. Still great performance either way. I think this was just Kendrick's time to take his breath. This is halfway through the show. You know, eight minutes in. You know, a little bit over. You know, a little bit over half, right? He's not good with dance moves, but he can flow and add things in the play in the background to keep it flowing. Because when you're performing, you want to keep a flow going. You want to keep people engaged in the performance. Because sometimes when people hear songs, you're kind of like, oh, you're getting lost in the song and you're not really energized anymore. You kind of loopy. You might lose interest, right? Because you heard the song 50, probably 100 times already. But so you have to keep people entertained. So he kept that element by adding dancers into this triangle. And it was really good. Now, for the Stars performance, everybody's talking about this circle, right? I heard somebody say this was a ritual. I'm like, chill out. I don't think it's that deep, my brother. Okay. I think it's just a circle. Okay. And he's just performing and is trying to, it's aesthetically pleasing, right? Some people just get too deep and too lost in their thoughts. I don't think it's a ritual. But when he gets in the middle, like right here, I think it might be like a protection, like his people protecting him, right? Because he's the star, or not even like he's on a hierarchy, but you know he's a promising figure that driving the people. So I think they're doing things and like they putting their hands up like this, and it might be like a blessing or something. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a ritual, a ceremony. I don't know. It's not nothing dark. So then this is a crazy screenshot. So then he adds Samuel back into it. He adds Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam, right, is saying that's more like it. Now you're playing the game. So he's basically saying, right, through all of these music politics, and to keep his stature, to keep his accolades, to keep his public perception, you do these songs that is appeasing to everybody. It's not gonna ruffle any feathers. It's not gonna make people uncomfortable. You're making all kind of not depth, no topics with depth. You're just doing surface level content. You know, right? You know what I mean? Very low level energy where it just makes you feel good. And that's when he said, "Oh yeah, that's more like it. America likes it when you do that, good old boy." That's what it was basically saying. And I agree. As an artist, you do feel kind of cornered into an ideal that you have to make a hit to make it big or to get to a certain stature in the game. That's controlled by labels. It is what it is, right? So for him being a major artist throughout his career, he's been chastised. Him, not even just him, J. Cole too, the conscious rappers, making songs with Taylor Swift, making songs with other pop stars to appease the white crowd, to appease the majority of America. And that's what he's saying. That's more like it, Kendrick. That's what we like. Basically like the labels, who's the face of America as well. The label heads. They run America. Cause they run music. And music runs generations. So they basically run America, and they run the perception of the public. And what you see is what they put out and how they want it to be put out. Now, then Kendrick jumps back into this play theatrical, back and forth with the girls, and it's playful, it's exciting, and he's hinting he's gonna do the favorite song, and he keeps playing little, samples and clips of it, bouncing back and forth, right? And now he's talking more revolutionary, and he's saying this is bigger than music. This is 40 acres and a mule. Basically, like, this is my land. This is my asset. Music is my asset, my life, what I deserve, my reparations. Then he talks to Drake. They tried to rig the game, but they can't fake influence. Now, for this line, I think it's a little hypocritical, because he worked with UMG, who rigged the game for him. Just being honest. Being unbiased here, Kendrick. I've been glazing the whole time. I think a little bit of unbiased is alright. You know what I'm saying? Cut me some slack. But yeah, it's hypocritical, bro. I'm gonna be real. You used the game just like Drake used the game to be on top for years, but now he's upset because his company is not he's not the favorite anymore. He's not the favorite child. Now he's the stepchild. And now you're the favorite child, and he's throwing a tantrum. He's upset. And you're just now the favorite. You're using the system just like he did. So I don't want to say the game isn't rigged. You rigged the game too. Now, is it for the better person, for a better cause? That's up for debate, right? But I like how he said 40 acres and a mule, making it seem like music is his reparations. Music is his point of taking control back over his community, over his life. I like that approach. Then he goes into Not Like Us. And it's this whole thing where he's walking down, doing his little dance, doing a little Kendrick bop, you know what I'm saying? The little LA bop, the shoulder lean, you know what I'm saying? Very tough, I ain't gonna lie. But, then it gets into the stare down. The stare down and the menacing laugh that's going to be a meme probably for another year. I'm sorry, Drake. It's going to be 2 years by this point, bro. You going to get it for 2 years, bro. You going to get it for 2 years, bro. You might want to stay in Australia for just a little bit longer, bro. Look at this. This man's smiling. Oh, my gosh. I know that is eating at Drake's soul. But that, like, dead serious, bro. Like, this smile would eat at anybody's soul who lost. It's like a nana boo boo. Like, you was on a playground and somebody like took the ball from you, and you're like, hey, I was playing with that, and they stick their tongue out on you and say, nana boo boo, you can't catch me, and you chase them around, you can't catch them. Like, that's literally how Drake is with Kendrick right now. Like, oh my gosh, he's running circles around this dude, and he cannot catch him, bro. And Kendrick's just laughing. You know how they be laughing too when you chasing them. Ah, like, that's Kendrick, bro. Look at him. He's like, your daddy ain't your daddy anymore. I took UMG. I took your fans. Like, bro. This is like swiper no swiping. This man is like swiper, bro. He swiped Drake's career for real. Like, it's crazy. This menacing laugh would drive somebody crazy. And he said this while saying, say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. Bro, to national TV. Like, bro, it's like, this is the highest streamed game or event of the year. And he said, say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. And then he has his dancers. Look. Then he has his dancers do like this. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think Drake watched this. There's no way he could watch this, bro. He would go crazy, bro. That was crazy. So then he ends it with TV off. And this was special because he brought his brother, DJ Mustard, out. And this was cool because, bro, they came up together. This was a cool moment because first, DJ Mustard's career wasn't as big, it wasn't as promising as it used to be. And Dot revived it, got him a Grammy in his comeback last year, got him a Grammy, probably got him all types of new deals, just revitalized his career, bro. You gotta respect it, and they drippy too. Like, let's talk about that PG Lang Letterman, and then that biker jacket. That joint is swaggy, boy, with the Y2K baggy pants. Like, yo, and that PG Lang chain. That no, his outfit is tough. And then at the end of TV Off, he says something pretty interesting. And this is what I'm saying again with the play on words, how he goes between switching up the lyrics of a song to match the environment. He says, walking in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling, "Mustard!" I think that is super creative. And that's how you know he's a true performer, man. If y'all want to know true artistry in a performer, they can create an environment and through the music that you would never see. You know what I'm saying? Something so powerfully and strategically done in rap, because I'm gonna be real, rap's been lacking with artistry and creativity. It's just been microwave this, microwave that, shake butt this, shake butt that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so refreshing to see something that was just captivating. And then at the end, at the very end, Kendrick gives the turn the TV off, flips the channel with the smile, and then says, "Game over. I win, Drake." Basically. But nah, for real. I think when he says game over, it's not just at Drake. I think it's basically game over. He's done playing games with America. He's done playing games with the industry. And it's a new beginning, but it's a new beginning for him. He just started his multidisciplinary media company, PG Lang. And by the way, it's not a label. Dave Free wants to make it known that it is not a label. It is a multidisciplinary media company where they do arts, books, performances, etc. Right? So PG Lang put this whole performance on. This is a part of their company. It shows that they're actually a performance company and they're doing film and they're doing artistry. You can tell the stuff since he started in 2020, you know, with the cinema stuff he's been doing, with the music videos. It's just all this stuff he's been doing since he started PG Lang. He's creating an empire. It's not a label. PG Lang's to me is like something years to come that's not going to fizzle out. It's going to be pivoted to other things when he retires. He's going to go into fashion. He's going to go into art. He's going to go into books. Like, this is the new beginning for Kendrick. And it's at the end of his career. This is like the most ideal situation for any musician. At the end of your career, you finally get the top spot in rap. He has more monthly listeners than Drake currently. He has 85 million. Drake has 76 million on Spotify. Nobody ever thought that was going to happen. Nobody. He also did the Super Bowl. Nobody thought Kendrick was ever going to do Super Bowl. Just being real. No, nobody. Also, won 5 Grammys. Swept the Grammys in rap. Nobody touched him. Song of the Year. Bro, he's on track to blow out Kanye, and I hope he does. I do not rock with Kanye. I hope you blow him out of the freaking water. He's about to surpass Kanye for the most Grammys. He has 22, Kanye has 24. But I also hope it doesn't taint him like it did Drake. Because that's the biggest thing. With Drake, he got big, it went to his head. He got lazy with the music. He got lazy with the messaging. He wasn't as vulnerable. He was putting on a persona that wasn't his to stay relevant, to stay on top. So I hope K-Dot sees what Drake did wrong and doesn't taint himself. Because there is certain things that I see that could lead to him to tilt the other way. And that's what scares me. My final thoughts about this, man. Best rap performance I ever seen. Hands down. You know what I'm saying? For the Super Bowl. Don't know about the best performance. I had to get that to MJ. The man came from the bleachers down. Like, that was the craziest thing I've seen. Not best Super Bowl performance. Best rap performance. Best Super Bowl rap performance. Great alternative approach on theatrics. Made it feel like a West Side Story type of esque vibe. Honestly, the doo-wop aspect of it was just black in itself, and I love that about it. It was just black in itself with the doo-wop culture, with the what you say, you gonna do what, and I loved it. And then not even just that, it was simple. It was easy to digest to a certain extent, right? It was easy to digest, but also complex, which is super hard. It was easy to digest because you could see clearly the American flag. You could see clearly the game board. You could see clearly game over. You can tell that it was the dancers were NPCs. They were in the game that they were playing in America, right? Kendrick was the main player, directing the story of the game. Uncle Sam was in the game as the antagonist. Simple. Everything was simple but complex because everything was all for interpretation on different perspectives and experiences. He's creating discourse online. He's creating all of these things. That's what art does. It's supposed to do that. It's supposed to invoke this. That was missing in rap for a long time. He brought it back. He brought back the conversations that was needed. He brought back discourse that is needed. We need hard conversations about our community in music. That is revolution. Now, I do have cons. Oh, Lord. They're going to tear me up, but I don't care. This is my opinion. My cons is this. Thing about influence. He says you can't fake influence. You can't rig the game. He rigged the game in some way. It's just hard at that stature to not rig the game. So the thing I talked about last night with family and friends was, what you don't realize is there's things that's unseen that you will never know about that is being pushed behind the scenes, that is creating something that seems real but is not. And I'm not saying what he's doing is not real, but I will say this. The engine behind Kendrick Lamar is obviously a very influential energy and engine. Because once that engine left Drake, where do you think it went? To where it's going to bring the most attention and money and revenue. It went to Kendrick. They play on the same team. They just beefing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Internally. But they're on the same team. They're on the same labels. They're on the same umbrella. It is what it is. The thing about it is, it's kind of hypocritical to kind of say, to play on it that it's all because they want to see the fall of a man that was fake, and they all wanted to. That's part of it. That fueled the agenda that you were trying to push. But, bro, he wasn't back there creating schemes and billboards and all this stuff and doing little plays on Spotify and adding this to the playlist and bro, that's a whole 50 to 30 people team, PR team. That's funded by label. That's funded by the label. That's funded by maybe PG Lane. There's people behind him that he's hiring to create a narrative. And I'll never forget, an A&R told me. He was like, Lone, the thing about the industry, that it's always fakeness underneath the truth. But it doesn't really matter as long as the truth is taken as the truth. And I said, damn. So, stuff that's happening might be fake. But if the message is getting across where you made an impact, does the fakeness matter at that point? I don't know. Good question for the minds of y'all out there to think about. But I don't want Kendrick to be perceived as somebody that only made it to the top because of a beef. And at the end of the day, when it comes to his legacy, that's what is going to be pivoted as. Y'all might oppose me right now, but I'm telling you right now, unbiasedly, as somebody that has been into rap and music and indulged it and lived it and breathed it, this is one of them things where the masses will say Kendrick only got to this point because he went after a GOAT in the game. You beat the GOAT. So now it's like a transfer of power in any kingdom. You have to behead the king to be the king. Even now, even watching it, and even initially watching it, there's something that doesn't sit well when I think about the lifestyle in the persona that Kendrick created around conscious rap around the black community for years since Section 80. I've been listening to him since Section 80. I guess my expectation I created of him being this conscious dude like J. Cole was, I put them on such high pedestals to be voices for our people, that when they go a different way, or they go dark, or they, I guess, show qualities that might be toxic, it doesn't sit right, because I'm not saying they have to be perfect. I know that's unrealistic, and that's probably what I'm doing. But it does kind of hurt knowing that you have to tear another black man down to get ahead, when initially that was never your approach. But at the same time, that's his op. So he can give two F's about Drake, even if he was a black man, because there is cruddy black people out here that you don't really rock with. I get that. But in a public eye, we don't know these dudes from Adam. We don't know if Drake is really an a-hole. We don't know if he's really doing... We don't know Kendrick from Adam. We don't know who he really is. We just know what he puts out. We just know what Drake puts out. That's what we go by. They could be somebody completely different. Stepping over a black man. Not stepping over a black man, but like trying to end a black man to get ahead. It's just a narrative I just can't sit well with. I think they could really get together and check them and get some camaraderie, bro. Because that's what we really need, bro, is love in this day and age in our community. We need to stick together more than ever. And the two heads of just culture, and y'all can say Drake is not head of culture, you're smoking rock. I mean, you're smoking rock. There's a reason why he has that much influence. You know what I'm saying? He changed the narrative in 3 years. But before them 3 years, everybody was listening to Drake. I don't want to hear that. His R&B African American influence